Welcome to HomeFont Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting. Welcome, everybody, to a Monday edition of HomeFront Sitrep. How is everybody doing? Miss Candace, how are you?
Wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful. You're thinking about tacos still, ain't you?
No. I was trying to swallow that last bite because she got me on tacos, and I had banana nut muffins I made, so I scarfed it before we started.
Nice.
No, I'm great now that I'm not out in the heat anymore because today was torture.
Brutal. Oh, it was brutal today. I was outside working all day, playing in the dirt, and man, I step out of my truck and I'm sweating already. I'm like, God bless.
Definitely made for a spicy taco.
What's that?
I said definitely made for a spicy taco.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we had great guests on last night. We had Theory and Berserk on the show. They were actually here in studio with me. Candace missed the party last night. She was at home.
I think I was safer that way.
You might have been safer. But it was fun. My kids were fangirling upstairs.
So were you. You were too.
Nah, I wasn't fangirling. Come on now.
Yes, you were.
No,
yes, you were.
You know, and we had people that I had people call me today and say, "Hey, man, that was a great show, dude. I didn't know who those guys were, and now they follow them on social media. They're like, man, their music is good." Which I knew that from almost a year ago when we met them at 21st in Germantown, and their music resonates.
Well, they're cool people too. Like when you get to know them, they're really cool, genuine, like real people. And I think the cool thing about it was it's not our normal, but I mean, we for sure focused on music last night, but it was a good show. And of course it's a Marine.
Yeah. And you're representing the Marines today.
What? I gotta start because all my good people in my life right now are Marines. So
Marines are the best, bro. I'll duke it out with any other branch.
Don't push it. Don't push it.
No. Every branch has their qualities, good qualities about them.
I do. I think like a lot of my good people with the discipline and the respect and things like that, most of them, 95% of them right now are Marines. So I'll represent for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had a pretty good event. What was it, last week, 2 weeks ago, when we had the Vietnam traveling wall in, and we met so many great people during that event. What's up, Michael Bauer? How are you, sir? With Stan the Man, Fritz,
Fritz, oh my buddy.
Both of those guys, they're Vietnam vets. Fritz was Air Force. Stan the Man, he was
he's a Marine.
Had a brain fart there.
Hello. He's a Marine.
Yeah. So and then plus all the other.
They're the feistiest.
Oh yeah, and then plus all the other visitors and just hearing their stories. We had that one veteran. I think I told you. he had been to the wall 3 days in a row, never got out of his car. 3 days in a row. So I saw him pull in, and he was in the front parking spot. And then he backed out of that parking spot, parked in another one. Then he parked in another spot. And I was like, and that's when I stole the golf cart from you. So I drove over there and I was like, I said,
pink poncho.
I said, how's things going? And, because I was just worried seeing what was going on with the guy. And he said, I just can't get out of the car. And he said, and we were sitting there talking, and you could see the tears like going in his eyes, He said, I've been here 3 days. He said, I've been here 3 days in a row and I can't get out of my car. And I said, why is that? He said, because that's a long walk. And at first it didn't sink in what he was talking about. And I was like, well, I can give you, I was like, I can give you riding a golf cart. No. He's like, no, you didn't understand. He said, that's a long walk. And then I got it. I got it. I was like, yes, sir, it is. I said, but you're not alone. I said, we got, we can take care of you, if needed. But he's like, well, thank you. And he turned and left. I was like, all right. And I don't know if he ever came back, if he ever got out of his car, but just to have
he was there.
Who?
He was there.
Yeah, he was there.
He was there. That was just one hell of a week.
It was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. The days mixed together for me for sure because of all-nighters and passing out in a camper during the day. Like it was, I don't even know what day was what, but it was emotional.
Oh yeah, it was definitely an emotional roller coaster. And we had thousands of people come visit the wall. We had some VSO set up. We had some great speakers come in. We had Command Sergeant Major Ruiz, is that his last name?
Rosario.
Vietnam vet, come and speak, and oh God, the smoke gets you on those days. You were right, Andrea.
Oh, it does. There was lots and lots of smoke.
Yes.
And it was special for so many reasons. And of course, like one of my all-nighters was the night that my daddy came down. And not only did I get to experience the escort with him, and then a whole day of being at the wall and hanging out with Ratman and meeting people and introducing him to people. But then that man stayed up all night with me that night, watching that wall, and just to not only the memories with the veterans and the people that were coming in, but to have that with my hero, my daddy, like that was special. Yeah. Any time with daddy is special, but throw in something like that, and it makes it a different experience. So like me personally, every day was a different experience because of the people that you're around. And
but no, so we had great guests last night, and tonight we got great guests coming on tonight. We got the People's Patriot Project. If you don't know anything about them, you need to go to their website and check it out. I'm going to post it in the chat here real quick. The website link is right here. They do a whole plethora of things. They have a podcast. They got a nonprofit. They got all kinds of things, and it's first responders, veterans. I believe Gold Star families are in there as well. They do a little bit of everything. So without further ado, let's bring up Mr. Mark Peterson and Miss Andrea Abom. How are you
guys? We need to change her tagline to Spicy Taco.
Spicy Taco.
No.
Today. That works today.
Pass on the digits and then you'll see why. No, we not.
How are you guys doing?
Fabulous. Never slowing down, always in the front and getting it done, man.
Nice. That's awesome. So let's do a little bit of an introduction. We'll start with Mark up top, and then we'll go to Miss Andrea right after that.
Do it. You just want me to run?
Yeah, run it.
All right. Hi.
Tell us
I'm Mark
about
Peterson.
your background.
I was an Army veteran of 14 years. I also served as a firefighter for 8 years. Originally, back in the day, I spent a little time in law enforcement. Original course of study was criminal justice, but then I thought, why go that route? I went into psychology, got out of that, became a school teacher, and then that's kind of where it started. But the People's Patriot Project was kind of a birth thought through working with firefighters and seeing that our volunteer firefighters at the end of the day give all their personal resources and assets to the purpose of the mission, and a lot of them at the end of the year don't have the extra resources to do things with their family and stuff. But their family is the fire department, and a lot of things were done. And so the vision of the People's Patriot Project came through that, and I said, it's time to do stuff for these amazing community assets. And then I realized, what? The same mission is true when you get into the veteran and the people that serve in the military. And bottom line, you get into the numbers, and almost 60% of all the people that are a first responder in the police forces, fire, and EMS have prior service. And so it just made sense that we would accommodate all these. We had many marketing people step up and say, it is, why are you taking off such a big bite? Why are you getting into a saturated field? And I'm like, you know what? We're losing, depending upon the number. I know our industry uses the number 22, but the reality is that number fluctuates 17 to 75 a day. That does not include the first responders. And the bottom line is we've lost 6,000 veterans a year for the last 20 plus years since 9/11. And that's just too much. And so don't sit there and tell me we have a saturated field when we have this many people struggling with their personal demons, and we don't even have our Vietnam veterans all the way home yet. So not saturated, not getting the job done. And we should all, I don't think we need a shoulder, but we're pretty robust and in your face about how we should be embarrassed in how we've handled our veterans and our first responders and making sure they've got the resources that they need.
Heck yeah. No, I love it. So I met you guys through Adam with Heroes Media Group, because you guys are part of that. And he's like, you need to check these people out. And then, on his debriefs on Friday, when he does those, he talks about your episodes and stuff. And then I started following you guys and watching your stuff. And I was like, yeah, these people are legit, because you do so much, with the podcast and the nonprofit and so we'll get into all that here in a little bit, but let's meet Miss Andrea.
Hello, Andrea Eichmann, actually. And so I met Peterson, gosh, it's probably been almost 10 years ago. We're both teachers, and we met at a conference. And, all my life I haven't served, but I've always been a big supporter, I'm a fan. I'm in your corner. I'm, always kind of an at-home, got your back kind of person. And so when he started telling me about this project that he wanted to start, it very much intrigued me. And so I asked a lot of questions. I listened to really closely. I couldn't keep up sometimes because the ideas got really big and I need that small step to start with. But I hopped right in, and we started, we just started helping veterans. We got business cards, we got a website, and we got our nonprofit established, and we just started putting our name out there and helping veterans. And it's a little ironic when that COVID stuff came around. And as teachers, here we are on our computers all day with kids who, for me, they weren't even there. Little black boxes all over my screen. They might be listening, they might not. And I remember talking to Peterson one day and saying, hey, this sucks. I need people to look at. And so we started this little group chat, and I was like, we need to put this on. We need to put this on live right now, because if we can reach one person out there who can kind of catch on to this story. We had people sharing, what helped them. Where did they find help? Musicians galore, because music is super healing. Some use it for themselves. Some just want to share it with everybody else. I'm like, we just need to get it out there. People need to hear this so they know they're not alone, so they know where there are options. And we kind of poofed ourselves across the nation and beyond. And it was cool. It happened really fast. So in the middle of doing all our Christmases and our Light in the Load, and now we had a podcast. And honestly, it's become an amazing way to reach people, hopefully reach more, and a bigger net can be built. And along this journey, we have buddied with so many other groups. We share them. Let them share their stories. And every Sunday night at 6:00 Central Time, we go online. We let them share their stories. And then we've visited several of them across the country. We started out in Texas, and then we were in Tennessee, and then we were in Louisiana and Georgia. So our net, our affiliation, our collaboration is pretty freaking big. And it's really amazing. If someone in Michigan needs help, and I'm like, I don't even heard of your town. What do you need? And reach out. We get some people in action, and it's just been really cool.
No, I love it. And so when did People's Patriot? I can't even talk tonight. When did the People's Patriot Project come about? What year was that?
So the original inception was in 2012, and I was worried. I was afraid. I was scared. Someone would take my ideas and want to use them for themselves, and so I sat on it for a bunch of years, and I all of a sudden, poof! It's like, and I'm like, my gosh, we're still losing, and you're doing nothing. You're doing nothing. One of our call to actions, our basic bottom line: what are you doing? So 2018, Andrea came on board. We made sure we kind of forced everything to the front and said, you know what, it's time to poop, man. So we did it, and yeah, it's been a great ride, and we never ever thought that we would be able to do some of the things that we've done with the People's Patriot Project. And we ultimately do state this. We selfishly do this because at the end of the day, the people that we've met, the relationships we've created, the bonds that have happened, they make me feel good. But bottom line is, we believe that serving is therapeutic, and doing things that are above and beyond us is, I don't know, it feels good.
No, I agree with you. When serving for me has always been a great release to help minimize the demons that I face on a day-to-day basis. And then doing this podcast, when I started this podcast, I didn't know how it would go, and it just kept, it kept growing. I'm kind of like you guys. It just kept growing, and the people that I've met along the way, whether they're in Washington or California, DC, Maine, Minnesota, Florida, wherever they are, building that friendship, building that bond, let them come on to HomeFront here and tell their stories. We kind of build that Rolodex of people. So if I got a veteran that reaches out and says, hey, I need this. Do you know somebody who can help me do this? I'm like, all right, yeah, I can send you down to Florida to the Hope Project with David Trojden, who rescues horses. And then in turn, he does equine therapy with veterans and their families with the horses that he rescued. Or I can send you up to Nicholas Ron with Warriors Next Adventure, and he can take you out hiking in the woods. Or we can send you to Montana Warriors on the Water, where they take you out fishing. So there's just so many great people out there that have that servant's heart. And it's beautiful when things come together and everybody works together. I think that makes, I think that's what's going to help eliminate the numbers. And like you said, it fluctuates anywhere between 75 or 17 to 75. one is too many. We need to get it down to 0 because that's what. But it's going to take all of us working together to make that happen. So
absolutely.
So you guys, like, I'm on your website right now, and I'm on artist roster. So do you guys put on concerts?
So I mean, we're the classic nonprofit organization that does an event or tries to do an event every year, and we have. Let me answer your question. Yes, we do concerts. Our website is our redhead stepchild. It's it just gets neglected, and we can't put all the things on our website that we'd like to because we don't have the infrastructure and the people to get that done. We wish it was a better. We have bought into some relationships and thought it would accelerate that. It is what it is. When people find out how much work this takes, we spend a lot of time of intaking and teaching people how to do the mission, and they stick with us for about 3 months and then they're gone, and it is what it is. It's more than just doing concerts. We because of our podcast, our live stream, because the niche that we've decided to fill, we have brought a veteran or first responder musician on almost every single week for the last 212 weeks. And it actually goes a little bit longer than that. Because of that, we've just built this amazing database of content in regards to music. And so we've developed what's called EP3 Radio that is exclusively veteran and first responder musicians playing their craft. There's no talk on it. There's no podcasting on it. We've talked about that, wanting to grow, but again, one of the places that we're at with that radio station is we don't have enough boots on the ground to accommodate that piece. We work with Michael Madsen at this time with Foxhole Radio Network down in Georgia, and he has done some of the pieces for us with our radio, and we've been really excited about the things that he's done. Because now the organizations that we bring on to our show, because I never wanted to do a podcast, never. You brought up Adam Bird. I'm kind of bouncing around here a little bit. Adam Bird is one of our original board members, has been a board member since we started. When Adam came on, he was running Heroes Media Group didn't even exist at that point, and we were talking about brainchilds. And we just had breakfast with Adam Bird this week, and he's like, "You guys realize you've been with us from the very beginning?" And I'm like, "It's hard to believe that because we weren't a podcast when we first came on board. We were a nonprofit helping veterans and first responders." And so it's great to see and foster this relationship. But now we're 10 years down the road, and we've got organizations that have come on. Well, all these organizations are asking for musicians to do their annual events. So they reach out to us and say, "Hey, A, B, C, and D." And we're like, "Yeah, we know all these guys. Who do you want?" A little frustration with our brothers in service after the mission. A lot of them feel that because they're a nonprofit that these guys should be donating their time to come do their event. And I'm like, it's not how it works. These are also veterans we're taking care of, and this is how they feed their families. So we always try to negotiate a dollar amount that will make sure. Now, there's a lot of these musicians that will give their shirt off their back for what they're doing and what you're doing. But at the end of the day, they need to be taken care of. And so we advocate real strongly that this is not a giveaway, and to make sure we're taking care. Hey, take care of your local artists. This is how they feed their family. And if you're a veteran organization and you're not using a veteran musician or a first responder musician, let's have those conversations and get those men and women in that space.
Yeah,
because every now and then,
go ahead, Candace.
Every now and then you have those artists, those veteran artists or whoever they may be, that will selflessly donate their time on their own. But I feel you on that. I don't think that we should ever be asking, like, hey, we're doing this. You want to come do this for free? Like, it's hard because, you do have nonprofits that are trying to raise funds, and sometimes you got to spend a little bit to make some, but you do have some that will willingly give their time. They don't want anything for it.
There are,
but you can't have that expectation.
Truth. Right? So we have a little pledge we go, and we say we know why we get to do this. Thank you for the service members and first responders who have committed their time, sweat, blood, limbs, family, and life to give us the freedoms that we have that allow us what we do daily. And I think sometimes we forget all these men and women in this musical or musicianal world have already gone and served their country first. And again, they've already sacrificed. No one's gotten rich being in the military, as far as I know. Maybe the generals do. I don't know, but I am not.
I don't think they get rich either.
I don't think they do either. But they get to rub the elbows with people that give them opportunities. But you got a Scotty Hastings who has been shot 10 times. He's already given everything. And his life has been changed and altered, and now he's trying to battle back as a musician. And you got to pay the man to get. And he's a talented individual.
Yes, he is.
And again, we've got 160 plus musicians on our radio station that they've all paid their dues. Their dues was serving their country. Their dues was letting us lay our big fat heads on the pillows of freedom daily, and them taking care of us. So, and again, I know we probably didn't want to get into that. There's another rabbit hole we get into.
No, it's good. It's good because we got our third annual Veteran and First Responder Suicide Awareness Concert coming up November 9th. And everybody that comes donates their time. And if they needed to get paid, we'd find a way to get them paid. But everyone that we've talked to said, no, we'll come, we'll do it for free. Because so this is our third annual. Every year we pick a different nonprofit to donate 100% of the proceeds to. And this year is going to be Camp Hero, Kentucky, which is Rocco, who's a Navy veteran, medically retired. Then he was a police officer in Shepherdsville in Bullitt County, and a felon tried to escape and ran over him. So he got medically retired from the police department, and he started a nonprofit for veterans and first responders and family. And it's outdoor therapy. So all the money is going to go to him this year, but we didn't ask the people to come and say, hey, will you do it for free? We're like, hey, we're putting on this concert. This is what we're doing. This is the date. And they're like, all right, well, we'll donate our time, and it's an hour out of their day because we start at 11 a.m., go to 11 p.m. So we're going to have acts every 45 minutes or so. So you have a little bit of breakdown time in between. But no, you definitely have to, if somebody says, hey, well, I need to get paid for the gig or whatever, then we come up with a price and we pay them. And then like Hero Stock just happened in Lebanon, Tennessee. That's another great organization that puts on concerts around the country. So music therapy is something that I've always leaned toward, other than outdoor therapy, because I love outdoor therapy. But music therapy, music is just the healing principle of music is amazing. So no, I love that you guys do that whenever you can. You put on your concerts and stuff like that. And Adam, speaking of Adam, because I know he's in chat somewhere. I don't know who he's watching on, but he's amazing. I met Adam. He came through Kentucky because his son was graduating at Fort Knox, and me and him had dinner. The first time I met him face to face, and when he got Candace is mad because she didn't get the call, but when I met him, because I'm only 5'7", and Adam's a lot taller than I am, and it's like, holy cow. It's like a big bohemian of a man there. But super awesome cat. You can check out Heroes Media Group, definitely. And so you got.
I was going to let that go, James.
What'd you say?
I said I was going to let that go.
And James got the meeting. James Thornton. So James Thornton, he is a Mogadishu Mile veteran. He is a pain in the ass. So James Thornton served during Somalia during Black Hawk Down Operation Gothic Serpent. He's also ambassador for Warrior Rounds. Warrior Rounds takes veterans, first responders, Gold Star families, cancer survivors, and pairs them with Grammy award-winning singer-songwriters, and they write a song about that person's life. James has one up on warriorrounds.com or YouTube, and it have tissues ready when you watch those videos, because it'll get you. Sure. It will get you. So if you go to your website, you got Home, About Us, Media, News Events. How many events do you try to do yearly?
Well, it depends on how bad the airlines mess up our flights, to be honest with you, because the more they mess our flights up, the more events we get to do, because we just get to stay in the air at that point. We've sat down and had the conversation about what we'd like to do. And the reality is there's just not enough resources to accommodate the needs, so to speak. Our mission first is to take care of veterans and first responders. So we as a board have come together, and it doesn't pay for us to send us all over the place. Every time we go someplace, you got to pay for airfare, you got to pay for transportation, you got to pay for room and board. We do hit a lot of couches along the way, but sometimes it just doesn't fit. We would like to do an event every month, but we'd like to do an event every other week, but it's just not happening. But so we've slowed down over the last year. I think this year we've probably done about a dozen events, but it doesn't all fall into like one monthly. Like we'll go for a spurt, get 3 done in a month, and then we have a bunch of months off. But we'd like to increase our infrastructure with our streaming, and that was one of the things that we started off to begin with. And the technology has just grown so much. We'd like to go into spaces and just show the world what these amazing organizations are getting done. We have an amazing relationship with Reads Across America. We just went out to Maine to their headquarters and had a fabulous weekend out there with Mr. Morel Worcester. They don't have any R's in their alphabet out in Maine, so I had to learn how to speak all over again. But
I keep telling him it's an accent; it's not a speech impediment. Slow down, Bucko.
No, that's awesome. So my buddy Sam Deeds, Gunnery Sergeant Sam Deeds, he's from Maine, and when I first met him, because that was honestly when I went to boot camp was the first time I actually had really been out of the state of Kentucky. Like I've been to Tennessee and stuff, but they sound a lot like us here in Kentucky. But I met Deeds,
the sheltered Marine,
and you could definitely tell, his accent was there, and it was like, what did you just say? Because it was hard to understand what he was saying at first. But now
he's not the only one.
Yeah, Danny was that way. Shoemaker. All those New England and boys,
Massachusetts, like they don't know how to speak, they don't know how to spell. Like I went up there like it was a foreign land.
Oh, like, it definitely is. So I'm going to post, because I know Candace is going to ask this question, but I'm going to go ahead and post it in the chat.
I did see what you were doing there. It's not that because unfortunately, it's. Money makes the world go round, and it's a thing that nobody wants to talk about, but you have to have it, especially when you have a nonprofit. And when you're helping others, sometimes I don't know why people don't understand where that comes from. Like it doesn't, you're not bleeding turnips, you're not pulling it out of your butt. Like you're raising it, you're fundraising. They're like, why are you doing so many fundraisers? Well, we're continuing to help people, so we kind of need that backup to do that. But well, yes, we're going to ask.
Nonprofits are different today than they were 40 and 50 years ago, because you didn't have, you got to market your nonprofit now, and it's the amount of time and effort, social media being a gigantic influencer in it. We were lucky to have an intern this last year from the Carlson School of Business from the University of Minnesota, and she did an absolute phenomenal job. But those interns don't come free either, and it was worth every dime we spent. But people sometimes question, well, why isn't it all going to the veterans? And I'm like, well, because StreamYard costs money, and no one gets to hear our message unless we have StreamYard. There's a lot of amazing tools out there that are free once you start shopping and getting out there and being involved. But we've had conversations with StreamYard. Is there anything you're willing to do for a nonprofit? And it's not an attack on them. They're not doing anything for nonprofits. And
I'd like to put it into like percentages. For some people who look like they're not understanding, like we do have some administrative costs, and people have heard that, but they don't get it. But if you can say 8 to 13% is all that goes to administrative costs, 87% goes right back into veterans and first responders and their families' hands. And if you can put it that way, but if you just say, well, most of it, big chunk of it, then they want to know the exact details of everything, every other little penny that's spent. And then when you're a bookkeeper, God bless you, because I have no idea what some of those categories are, but I'll just trust at the end of the day that that's where all that was going to be taken care of. But it's a game. It's a definite game of, you don't want to spend that money, but how can you reach those people up at Lake of the Woods? How can you reach those, out in Utah? Where do you think that comes from? You don't just... Right.
Yeah. So how is somebody watching or listening, and somebody that wants to support the things you do, other than going on your website, which Willis just posted, is there anything else that people can jump in, whether that's monetary, whether it's supplies, or any way that they can volunteer? What are their different options on how to connect with you guys?
So we're always interested in what we call time, talent, and treasure. And there's always tools. We do tell people that if you come into the People's Patriot Project and you create a revenue funnel, we will give you the lion's share. You're doing the work. We'll give you the intrinsic reward. Sometimes my board gets upset with me when I make those statements, but the reality is no one's ever taken us up on it. And the other piece is, I will take any $20 a day today that I didn't have yesterday if someone's willing to come in and make that happen. And it's not about the money, to be honest with you. It's about the relationship. For us, we want the relationship. We want to have the conversation. We want to have the growth. The amount of times that we spend shaking babies and hugging hands. I mean, it never gets tiring, but it gets tiring. We've made the mistake of having a back-to-back day event, and it takes the gas out of you. We did an event down in Nashville called the WP3 Nashville Takeover, brought 28 musicians into Nashville and played 6 venues in 5 days. And at the end of that thing, we were done. And we blame it on the musicians because they think they can play till 1 a.m. and then they jam from 1 a.m. until 5, 7 a.m. and then we have to get on the road again at 9 a.m. But back to your question, we will take and entertain any type of influence. We have poets that come on. We got the amazing Kim Gwinner, who came on, and she just does poems for us. Again, if it's reaching out and is a piece of content that no one has seen or heard before, and I'll do the shout out for Miss Gwinner. She's got 3 books out there. If you haven't read any of her books, it's about life living, and her poetry is amazing. She's I will call him she won't go by victim, and she's not a victim by any sense, but dealt with military sexual trauma through some of the stuff. And I'm not sharing anything she wouldn't want us to share, but she has mastered her demons for the most part, and we love having her on the show. That's just a little tiny facet. People who have worked on our website, there's a niche for everyone and anyone. And if you've got any kind of talent whatsoever, let's have a conversation. Let's build something. Let's grow something. We have a conversation. It was kind of funny because I don't know if you've heard of the contagion effect and Eric Mello out of California. They do a let's go, and just our relationship changed it to let's grow. And then Jonathan makes it funny because those I call it, they're not Italians, but the French people down in Louisiana drop an AUEX on everything that they speak, and so his grow looks different than our grow. And that's, I don't know if I can speak everyone's language in this country, but if once you start moving around and seeing Maine to Louisiana, and then you throw Iowa in there, you never know what's going to be said at that point.
Yeah, for sure. And so you also have a store online on your website as well, that has like the black solid fitted flat brim, which I put the link out here in chat as well. So I'm assuming the profits from the store helps run the organization as well. So that's another way somebody can help donate and get the word out about you guys as well. So
it all gets dumped right back in, and we are constantly taking requests from veterans across the country. For this last week, we had a veteran that couldn't afford to get their birth certificate, and so it's like, you know what? That's such a small, minuscule amount. It's small to us because we have the capability of making it happen. It might be the straw that breaks the camel back for one of our veterans that is struggling and trying to just get into a home or into a place where they can live. So we took care of the birth certificate like right now.
So Marcus, which is Candace's dad, said, so many of us are so appreciative of good-hearted kids like you that are willing to put forth the effort to help. If more like you were around 40 to 50 years ago, many of the veteran problems of today wouldn't exist. And I would probably agree. I agree with him wholeheartedly, because when the Vietnam vets and the World War I or World War II vets, well, pretty much when all of them came home, they didn't have the support system that veterans have today. With the different podcasts and the 45,000 different veteran service organizations out there, they didn't have, that at their disposal. And, and we're still growing when it comes to helping veterans, first responders, Ghost Star families. We're still learning. It's an everyday challenge to learn, because I'm just now going through the VA process of getting my rating and everything. And that for me, I got out in 2004 from the Marines, and navigating the VA, it's painstaking. I'm technical. I'm tech savvy, but navigating the VA is like, holy cow. It's like I'm filing for my.
They don't have enough grounds for that, do they?
Right. I had to, break them down a little bit, but filing for my PTS, I sent in the little questionnaire they sent me, and I put in there, it was pretty graphic, and they sent it back and sent a letter back saying, well, we need more details. I'm like, what do you need more details for? I gave you the details. It's crazy. But no, you guys, with your podcast you do on Sunday nights, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. We got your 6 at 6. So you can follow that on YouTube, Facebook. They do amazing work with everything that they do out there. Candace, what other questions you got, my friend?
I don't know. I'm just intrigued. Like, I love that it poofed across the nation. That's one of my favorite parts, because it's magic how it happens sometimes. Like you have these ideas and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what just happened? Because it blows up and it catches attention, and not with the intention of that, but just the ability to help without limit. Like saying, okay, you're 5 states away. Sorry. Like, even if I don't have somebody there, and but still being able to do something. It's pretty cool feeling.
Can I respond to the comment to the last listener?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I appreciate and thank you. It was the content about how people are being motivated and moving forward and getting stuff done, that if people were there back during the Vietnam time, that we wouldn't be in this situation. The craziness is, and there's a reason why. So our real name is called We the People, the People's Patriot Project. And if you look at our banner graphics, it talks. It's an oxymoron. It's that bright green is on a bed of pixelated black camo, and we always say our green won't go unseen. The problem that I think we had is, first of all, social media didn't exist back in the day, and our media was not covering the pieces that needed to be covered with the men and women that served during that time.
Right.
And I do believe, I mean, we got to steer away from political conversations because of we're a nonprofit and how we approach it, and we agree on all sides of the aisle when it comes to some of the things that we work with. But when we get into an election year and you look at the amount of dollars that are being pushed to either side camp, and there's more than 2 camps, and there's more than 3 camps if you really get into the business of politics, the amount of money that's put into these campaigns, if that was pushed anywhere near our veterans, we wouldn't be having this conversation at all. And It's sad that we are influencing our business, our politics, and all these pieces in this level in a different entity, that we can't take care of people. There is no money in humanity, period. When you start talking about education, is there money in education? There's a lot of wasted dollars in education. Don't get me wrong. I lived that life. But at the same time, if we invested more into our children, we wouldn't be having the problems that we're having with our children. True. If we invest more into our first responders and our veterans, again, happy heroes make happy communities. We just wouldn't be dealing with the problems that we have today.
Yeah, I agree. Miss Andrea, do you want to take this question here?
Yeah, I was actually typing a response. I love that because we are so broad, right? But most of our requests, you guys, are monetary action needed. Like the birth certificate was $35 plus like a little handling fee. So most of them are monetary. We do put asks out on our social media, and we usually explain exactly what's going on. So we're bringing 3 veteran musicians to Minnesota for a fundraiser. We're looking for $800 to cover their flight, their stay, and their food. And that sponsoring a musician is an amazing way to help us when we have our events. Those are probably the 2 biggest. Our Lighten the Load is kind of our beacon program. And that's the one where like we've moved people. So when we get in those situations, I was trying to say to James, with our net across the nation, if someone has a moving truck, if someone can give a ride to somebody. So our connections are kind of the biggest thing, and we're compiling more and more. If anyone knows how to put that all in like a virtual Rolodex, so they're easy to find, that we're working on this, right? And so to put all that together takes time. So if people are watching social media and see our asks, if they have time, if they have a talent, we had a bunch of guys fix a floor. A Vietnam veteran down in Louisiana actually almost fell through his floor. And a bunch of guys went in, paid for the materials. The labor was donated, and he's got a floor that'll last for years beyond his ownership of that house. Just simple things like that. Your time, your talent, and then of course the world spins on the silly dollar, but that's the.
So have you guys ever heard of the Purple Heart Homes? So Purple Heart Homes does kind of similar to what you were just talking about, helping veterans rehab their homes. And they have people all over the country that does that. So that's something that you might want to look in as maybe a partner, because they do, that's what they do. They go in and fix houses for veterans and first responders. I think first responders as well. But that'd be a good, somebody that you can, connect with. So, and then Marcus, he says here, we were told that there were government agencies assigned to veterans' problems. Of course, no one knew how to find them. Doubt they even existed most of the time.
Well, the craziness to add to that is we have roughly 46,000 organizations across the country saying they're helping veterans and first responders. The whole thing that kind of drove a little bit, we were having people reaching out to us and they were like, "Oh, you answered the phone." And I'm like, "Yeah, tell us who isn't answering the phone." And the stories we've heard that just break my heart. First of all, when these men and women of service have the gumption and have actually had enough that they're reaching out for help and support, they're already in crisis mode. They've already met their limit and they're going beyond. And when no one's on the other side of the line, you are creating the problem for it. We've muddied the waters, brothers and sisters. We've muddied the waters. And that's why, again, this is why this was the content of our show. I didn't want to do a podcast. I didn't want to create content. I spend all my time teaching. I don't want to create more. And then when we realized that this was an issue and more of an issue, it was time to say, you know what? Hey, we need to call out those organizations. I'm going to step on a side note here. And if you're an organization, a founder or a leader, and you're saying you're supporting people, but you're consuming the resources from other organizations, find another job. That's not your job. If you're looking, now don't get me wrong, if you need help, find the help, and we'll support you through that all day long. But if you're running an organization and you're consuming others, we'll call it product or their resources, get out of the business.
Yeah.
You're hurting it.
Especially if you have a brick and mortar and you have a veteran walk in and you got people in there and that veteran's sitting in there 15, 20 minutes and nobody comes said one word to that veteran.
Oh,
that 15,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That 15, 20 minutes could be life-saving.
Absolutely.
So if you are a veteran service organization and you say you're helping veterans and you have a brick and mortar or you got a phone number listed on the website and you don't answer that call or that person walking in your door,
you should shut it down.
You should shut it down.
Well, and that's the thing. Yeah, you're hitting it. It's like my daddy was going through some rough times, and that's kind of the whole reason I started the nonprofit that I did, is because it was phone call after phone call after phone call, and here's another number, and it was like, is anybody actually doing anything? Does anybody, like, you say that these are the things that you do, but then sorry, let's give you another number, and I got tired of that. I was so sick and tired of it. Like, do you know what it takes alone for a lot of these veterans just to dial that first phone number?
100%.
It takes a lot, and they're swallowing a lot. So the first time they don't get that answer, that's why you got people in the parking lot of the VA doing the things that they do.
Amen.
They're not answering the phone.
Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's just like you get the run around, and then like me. So I work a full-time job. So I work from 7 a.m. to 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, depending on when I get off. And when I try to schedule my VA appointments, I try to schedule them at the end of the day, like after 3:30, so I can work 8 hours and then go to my appointment. Well, the VA's like, well, we're taking away any appointment after 3 o'clock that's in person. So you have to come to the VA from 7 a.m. to before 3 p.m. if you want to go see somebody in person. I'm like, well, how does that work for me as a veteran who has a full-time job? I'm not 100% rated from the VA. I have to work to support my family. I said, how does that work for us? And they're like, well, that's coming from above our head. I'm like, that doesn't make no sense, because, if I need to go see my therapist at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I need to be able to do that. If I need to go see my primary care at 3:30, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever, I need to be able to do that. I know they have hours that they have to work as well, and that's why I try to do it at like 3:30. That way I can take off work a half hour early to get there. But it's just like it just blows my mind. It just and if you're a veteran service organization, like I said, if you don't answer that phone call, and if you don't answer that person walking into your brick and mortar, give it up, move on, do something else, because you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Go start your business that you're trying to start. Like, go do that, because that's what you're doing, right? It's not sorry. Like, I need Ryan's song now.
No, we felt actually kind of. There was a time. It was like a series. It must have just been a couple caseworkers from the VA in Minneapolis. And it's very, I don't know. I felt like I was doing something really good because I was able to help things that were, like you said, their hands are tied. Things that one of my favorite gives for us was a gentleman who lived here in the Twin Cities, and a caseworker called me, and Nick was his name. And he said, I've heard you've helped others. I don't know if you can help this, but would you be able to help me find John or whatever, say John. He just needs to get to Texas. I said, sure. I go, do I need to know any backstory? Well, yeah, he's on hospice and he's terminally ill with cancer. And his young daughter, I mean, she was young, like fresh out of high school, is going to college. He wants to finish his days with her. So I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I don't care. I'm already taking care of this. Done deal. So I said, let me just go do a little shopping. Can I call you back? And he'll need his information. And so I got John on a plane. And I was so anxious to hurry up and get him on a plane to Houston that I didn't think to ask, like, does he need to be up front or in the aisle? And so I didn't even call him back. I'm like, whatever. I got back online. I'm like, we're bumping him up. And that's like the very front row one, right in the aisle seat was wide open. And I'm like, dude is sitting there. I don't know what he needs. But then I got him a voucher for some whatever he needed or wanted. And I called Nick back and he starts, tears are welling. He's like, he's going to be touched. And I'm like, I don't care. That's great. I mean, I do care. But it was too easy. Like, what else can I do? And he goes, well, I don't know. He said, you want to get in touch with his daughter? I'm like, yes, I do. So I called her up and she had her flight and she was coming up. And I said, well, what do you need while you're here? And what can I do? Like, do you need some groceries? And so we worked all that out. And I said, well, what flight are you taking back? Like, how are you making that connection? And she's like, well, I just took a one-way because I didn't know for sure what his plans were. I was like, Delta, I need that seat right next, wide open again. The two of them sat next to each other, went home, bought some groceries. And he was with her for about 3 months. And it was pretty freaking cool to know that he flew home first class. He was well taken care of. His daughter, he didn't get to go to her prom, and that's why she wanted him there. And it happened, and it worked. And just I didn't ask of a caseworker at the VA who couldn't make that happen. And so that's the kind of stuff. That's just one of my very saddest but very favorite quick stories. I don't know. Wish you could do that for everybody.
And all you needed from that is to know that you made his dying wish happen. You didn't need the media circling around you because you did this. For me, when I help anybody, I don't request the media there. I don't want the media there because that's not what I'm doing it for. Last year we did Operation Veteran Santa, and the family is like, well, the lady who reached out to me, she goes, do you want the news there? I'm like, why would we want the news there? That's not what we do it for. And, when we showed up in James's trailer, so James has a big trailer that's got warrior rounds on it and stuff. We had the fire department, we had the police department, and we had Grinch, we had Santa, we had Cindy Lou Who, and we did this little skit where the police were chasing Santa and the Grinch, and to see those kids' faces light up, and when they see the veteran, I kind of expected the tears from the veteran, but just to see the kids' faces light up when, the Santa showed up drenched. And then we started bringing off the food and the toys and gave it that's all I needed right there, just to see that right there. That's
it's
my
so
receipt.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's so fulfilling. That's what I say. It's what always makes it easy to lay my head down at night. Like, I'm good. I could be sitting here suffering and not affording to go and get groceries or trying to figure out how to get gas in my car. But you know what? As long as that person is okay, I'm good. I'll sleep good.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So this year we're, like James just said, we're doing 2 veterans two veteran families in 7 different counties. So we're going to have 2 in each county and we've got a whole lot of people that came on board this year that's helping making that happen. So that's what we do it for. And we don't, like I said, we don't care about the media there. We don't want the media there. It's just not what we're doing it for.
But it's like Mark said earlier, though. It's like we almost selfishly do this because there's something that feels so good about it.
Right.
So good about it.
We struggle with this a little bit because there's been times where people have said, "Hey, you're doing this. You just want the attention," and it's like, there has to be the positive models out there because our country forgets that there's good people. Our country forgets that there are good things happening all the time. They'd rather sit and watch the news and listen to the rubbish that comes in that space. And I really think people get off on just being depressed and enjoying other people's misery, which is really sad. But at the same time, I mean, me and Andrea both agreed that we never wanted to be the face of this. We always wanted the veteran to be up front. We always wanted the first responder to be up front. Sure. Then we run a live stream, and then that just ruins everything. We got Beauty and the Beast, and it is what it is. And I struggle with saying let's not have the media there because people need to know and be taught how to take care of other people because we're not doing it.
Right.
So I
mean, there's always a time and place for the media to be there, but like with that family that we did, last year, they didn't need to be there because that family, for one, didn't request that somebody helped them. Somebody else, because we made a post, reached out, said, "Hey, we're looking to help a veteran or bless a veterans family this year in need." Somebody reached out to us and said, "Hey, I got this family. They just took in 3 nephews and a niece, so they had 4 kids on top of who they already had in their household." And the veteran was very proud, and they didn't ask for help. It just so happened that we made that post. Somebody saw it, said, "Hey, this family's perfect for what you're looking for," and then we made it happen. We threw out other posts after we found the family. Said, "All right, here's the ages that we have of the kids. Here's the the adult situation, stuff like that." And to be able to do that and take care of them, that's what it was all about. And so who joined? We got a new guy.
Oh no,
you're late.
You're late, sir. You're late.
Right on time.
I'm what I like to call fashionably late. I don't know if that makes sense.
Wait. What is your service background?
Was that?
What is your service background?
I was in the Army from 2000 something to 2000 something.
That makes sense.
02 to 06, I believe.
You're an hour late, soldier.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to say this is
jumping right into questions. You did all that just to
we have a Marine that shows up to our show late every week, and he says, "You can start the show now." I think it's poor training by Mr. Gabriel Wren, and Jonathan is just following suit, and so
seems likely
you're going to get the reprimand, Jonathan. The reprimand.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Like Willis was saying though, like with that family, like that, things like that just need to stay personal. If it's a big event and it's something for the community, sure. If the media wants to be there, let them come. But when you're dealing with something so intimate,
100%,
you don't need it. It shouldn't be there. And there was enough things going on in the Facebook groups and things like that about it where people were sharing it and talking about it and family members. And, if they want to talk about it, let them. but it didn't need to come from anywhere else. It didn't need to be publicly out there for everybody to see, because like I said, it was a very personal and intimate moment.
Right.
There are some asks that we maintain the anonymity of our person, and that's it's important to that. Our men and women are still very prideful, and they don't want their business out there, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
It demands a degree of trust, which that's what we try to put out there is, here are some things we've done. We don't ever share names or faces, but unless I want to. But the reality is you have to trust us. We don't want to do anything but help these people. And we can't, we've all put in our own dollars, and that's great. But sometimes it's bigger than that. And the communities, there's so many out there, even my mom sometimes throws a dollar at those great big organizations that have a lot of dollars. And I'm like, jeepers, Mom, I live around the corner and I got my own little thing going on. And you can trust me. You've seen what we do. You've even helped. Like, why are you sending it to them? They're fine. They've got money till 2045. They're fine.
Yeah.
Well, and that makes it really hard sometimes, the keeping our people anonymous. It makes it really hard for the donors because they want to know little details. They want to know what it's going to. I've had veterans in the past that were helping with paying their rent, and they're like, well, we want to see this and we want to know who it is and where do they live. And it's like, whoa, like that's some real personal information for one. But if you are questioning that much, then please don't donate. Like, go spend your money somewhere else. But we have people that know what's really happening and what the background is, and they respect that. And a lot of times it comes down to that. Just respect the process, especially with what do we call it? They're not clientele. They're not like customers. They're not that. It's just our people. That's what they're our people.
Absolutely.
Deserve that respect.
Yeah. So
I think,
Jonathan, you just joined. So
yes.
you just joined us. So do me a favor. Can you introduce yourself and give us a little bit of your backstory?
He was Army and he's late. It doesn't matter. His name's Jonathan.
I'm Jonathan. I'm habitually late, and that's my piece. No, I'm Jonathan. This all sort of started with me trying to put together, and maybe I was late to that ball game too, but probably about 3 years ago, I was getting to the end of my own journey where I was done with the military and wanting to find out more about veterans in the community and link up with more veterans in the community. And I ended up going on Facebook and looking for people of that had a similar mindset as me. And I like whiskey and I'm a veteran. So I made this Facebook outreach group called Bourbon Battle Buddies. And through that outreach, I ended up getting hooked up with the People's Patriot Project and going on their show. It's got to be about 2 years ago now, but we pretty much kind of shared a lot of the same beliefs and the same convictions and had similar goals in what we wanted to accomplish. So here we are, and we've never left. So I've been with the People's Patriot Project for, like I said, going on about 2 years now. And not too long ago, I was voted on as president of the People's Patriot Project by the board. And here's where we sit currently, working on starting a chapter or ambassador program, however you want to call it, down in South Louisiana, which is where I'm at. And we're just looking to grow and grow and grow and help as many people as we can right now.
No, I love it. Thank you for coming on and hanging out with us. And we've been talking with Mark and Miss A-Bomb up there for a little bit of time here, and we've heard all their whys, why they do what they do, and you just gave us why you do what you do. me, myself, and I'm from Kentucky, and I love bourbon as well. So I'm definitely going to have to go. I think I follow maybe one of the bourbon battle pages. I have to go look at all of them. So what's up, Rat Man? Brain fart, Candace.
It's your day. Last night was my here.
I didn't have my crowns today. No, throw that one away.
Red
crowns are the best, bro. So what events do you guys have coming up soon?
When Willis left Kentucky, he thought crowns only came in 12 packs.
Ooh, it's depressing.
There's so many more colors in there.
I mean, like, you got to get 3 just to make it through the day.
Right. Well, you see my whole collection of crowns back there. Well, you might not be able to see them, but there's a whole collection of crowns back there, thanks to Candace. So, Mark, do you guys have any events coming up?
Currently, I don't think we've got, like, I can't say we don't have anything insignificant coming up, but we've got Reads Across America coming up in the early part of December. We're the area coordinator for Fort Snelling here in Minnesota. We'll have another event down in Louisiana in May-ish, the Shock and Awe event down there on the bayou. I don't know that we've got anything really pressing right now. We have a lot of conversations going on all the time. We're supposed to be back down in Nashville this month. Don't know if we are. We're weighing some of those pieces out. We've kind of set aside for the People's Patriot Project as far as Minnesota is concerned. We've kind of set our own event aside just because we're involved in so many other things, and we probably should get back to that, but it's I don't know. We're all about being in a space, eating good food, drinking good drink, listening to good music, and just and pushing this narrative that continues to take care of other men and women that have served.
No, I love it. Whenever y'all make it into Kentucky, because I know you'll be coming through here one of these days.
We both have couches.
Yeah, we both have couches. We can definitely take care of you guys when you come in, and I'd love to meet you face to face and take you out to get you something to eat somewhere. Just to hang out.
Do it without calling me.
I'll call you next time, Candace. So we could definitely hook you up with some bourbon. I just heard about a new bourbon, 4 Branches bourbon. It's down in Barstown, Kentucky, which is where I'm from. So I'm definitely gonna have to get some of that to try it out. And then, have you ever heard of Southern Cross bourbon?
Yes.
So that's made with Crux Distillery. It is phenomenal. They're actually getting ready to come out with. So they got the Southern Cross bourbon. Then they're getting ready to come out with Raider Chaser, because it's Marine Corps Raiders, so the Raider Chaser. And then they're coming out with a Legendary series as well that's going to have Medal of Honor recipients on the label and stuff like that. And it's going to be called the Legendary series.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm definitely.
We should have just offered up James's couch, and then they could have went out into his man cave, and they can have all the bourbon they want.
True. James Thornton has a hell of a collection of bourbon in his man cave. Well, is there anything that you guys want to touch on before I go to break and play our commercials? Pay the bills.
Take care of business, brother.
All right, let's pay some bills real quick. All right, Miss Candace, let's pay some bills.
Let's do it.
All right, so if you guys are out there and you're in the music business, check out talenttalents.com. What they do for promoters, bands, venues, you name it, Chris Hawks, he does it for free. He don't charge anybody. He does it for free. So it might be something that maybe can help out People Patriots Project as well. And then you got Louisville Local Entertainment, Mr. Rick Ames. He does the same thing that Talon Talents does. He just does it on a smaller level in the city of Louisville, Kentucky, for bands, venues, promoters, whatever. He does shows as well. And then if you're in the market for shirts, sameflagsameoath.com. Mr. Matthew Johnson and his wife Becky is a small veteran-owned t-shirt company. They do hats, cornhole boards out in Texas, in Katy, Texas. Check out sameflagsameoath.com. I almost said Talon Talents again.
Oh my goodness, Marie.
I know, right? And then you got, if you're in the market to buy a home and you're a veteran, check out Veteran Mortgage Solutions. It's an all veteran team. They know the ins and outs of the VA home loans. They can help you out. So let's play this commercial.
Owner of Talon Talents here, and I just want to say that we are ecstatic to be a major sponsor of HomeFront Sitrep, a community that is ran by veterans and made for veterans. So thank you for tuning in. Talon Talents was formed in order to create a music scene that was together in the form of a collective, so that no one has to do everything on their own. And guess what? We've been doing this for free for over a year. So please go and check out Talon Talents through Facebook or through our official website at www.talontalents.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you again for tuning in to HomeFront Sitrep, a veteran-owned and operated podcast just for you.
My name's Rick Ames. I own Louisville Local Entertainment, a company for music shows, promotions, and bookings in the Louisville music scene. As a veteran, it's my honor to support and sponsor local veteran-owned businesses such as HomeFront Sitrep, made by veterans for veterans. So if you're in the music business and need some help booking or promoting a show for free, look me up. Louisville Local Entertainment. And thanks for tuning in to HomeFront Sitrep.
Gear up in style wearing Got Your Six apparel. Every purchase makes a difference. It's more than just clothing, it's a statement of gratitude. Upgrade without breaking the bank. Discover cost-effective, high-quality clothing made in the USA. Each shirt is handcrafted by our team in the great state of Texas and shipped for free to your front door. Got Your Six is where quality meets purpose. We're a small veteran-owned business that takes pride in the mission and the value of our products. Join us in growing a community, supporting our heroes, veterans, and first responders by wearing a custom design.
I thought you'd never ask.
Visit sameflagsameoath.com and use the code TRIPLETHREAT for 10% off. Follow us on all social media platforms for any upcoming releases or events, and you can reach out to us with questions anytime. We are here to support our brothers and sisters.
Hey guys, Matt Verdi here with Veteran Mortgage Solutions. As rates are dropping, home values are going to start to go up. It's time to start looking if you're looking to purchase a home. That being said, we are an all-military veteran loan officer team. We know the ins and outs of the VA home loan. We are considered the experts in this field. Give us a call today. Go to our website, veteranmortgagesolutions.com. Fill out my quick form. I'll give you $500 off towards closing costs. Have a great day.
And we are back.
I was watching the pup. It was so cute. I was like,
Which
oh, it's a puppy.
Are you talking
Andrea.
about Bruno
Yeah.
or Andrea's puppies?
He's super cute trying to eat my taco while I was
That's what I was going to say. He's trying to get to the taco. I was trying to leave that alone because I figured Mark would be for that. But
No.
see, even the pup likes spicy tacos, Mark.
Cut it.
We're live. There's no cutting.
Yeah, no cutting. We're live.
Too late.
I might be able to help here just a second.
Because I was trying to think of how you could change her name instead of actually calling. Oh my god! Instead of calling her Spicy Taco, it's ST, so she could be Andrea Saint A-Bomb.
Oh, look at that! The saint
That
of the
saint
group for sure.
HR, help me, HR.
It can sound
how
better.
she got the name A-Bomb. I don't think Saint goes before that.
It helps.
Oh man! All right. So have we missed on anything that the People's Patriot Project does? Have we missed on anything?
I feel like they do anything. There's no limits. Like you hear about something that needs to be done, you're like, "Yep, let's do it." Like if we can do it, let's do it.
Well,
here's something. If I could put this out there, because I know you guys know some music people too. First of all, we need somebody, but we're getting there to just keep our collection of music in order and make sure it's getting put where it needs to be. But if you know music, veterans or first responders that have music out there that would like it on the WP3 radio, send them our way. There's no fee. We do ask that they have, their RSS, whatever those codes are that you're supposed to have.
Right.
Our station guy will take care of all that as far as the.
Well, they got to be white labeled to get on the radio, right?
Does it?
I think
if they want royalties, they have to. But there's a lot of our veterans or first responders that's not important to them. They just want their stuff out there. So.
Yeah.
Does it matter what genre?
Yeah. Does it matter what genre?
Mm-mm.
So do you guys know Scotty Frazier out of Houston?
Been down to his event.
Yeah.
So have you heard his newest song? Have y'all heard it yet?
Red, White, and Blue?
No.
American
Wait.
Made.
He just released it 4 days
American
ago.
Made is his newest one.
Oh, I don't think
Have y'all not heard that yet?
We played it first year before it was released. We were super excited about it.
So since you guys haven't heard his newest yet, do you mind if I play it for you?
No.
We would love that.
Absolutely not.
So he was on our show not too long ago, and actually he's actually coming out here probably November 9th if everything goes right. But anyway, yeah, here's his song, American Made.
That's great.
Let me turn it up a little bit.
American made. Until his dying day, he's American made. Until his dying day, he's American made. Until his dying day, he's American made.
What y'all
It's
think of
okay.
that?
Love it.
It's a really, really good song. So he played it for us on our show, and he's like, "Well, we don't have a date to release it," and we were like, and everybody that was in chat that night was like, "Dude, you need to release that." So he released it. I think he was releasing it August 1st. So it definitely go look for Scotty Frazier on all your streaming platforms and follow him. Make sure you follow and subscribe to all of his social media platforms. And the reason I know why Candace was asking about genres for your radio station. What kind of do y'all like rap music?
Yeah. I love the different reactions with the head tilts and
Right. All right. So last night we had Theory, who's a Marine Corps veteran. His name is Ryan Dorfield. Super cool cat. We met him in person almost a year ago, and his music just resonates with you. Now, you guys being a nonprofit, being podcast host, I'm gonna play a song for you, and I'm not even going to give you any kind of thing about anything. I just want when you get done hearing the song, I need y'all's reaction.
How can you do that?
What?
Just not give them anything about anything.
Well, I'm just because I want their blind reaction to it is what I want.
Well, you need a title.
No, I'm not even giving them a title.
Oh, well,
They'll get the title as soon as they'll hear it. They'll know when the title comes up. So I'm gonna play this song real quick, and then we'll go from there. You know what song I'm playing, don't you, Candace?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right, here we go.
I hope.
But I don't really even know what I've been trying to prove. It feels like I've been falling from grace.
Yeah. Can't seem to escape this fate. Try pleasing the masses just to be told that my music ain't even great. It's way below average, people so cold. And how many followers you get defining success. It's crazy to think how I do what I love for a living, but somehow I still don't feel blessed. Ain't get enough views on that clip that I posted a week ago. Goddamn, must mean that I suck. Meanwhile the video trending right now is a girl on the gram saying she down to get fucked. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, I'm posting my content, crossing my fingers for luck, and hoping they playing my songs, but hundreds of streams will still only get you $1. So how in the hell do I win? Do I change who I am? Do I put out an album by selling drugs, fucking bitches, foreign cars, all the riches, gang, Glocks or switches? Maybe they'll love it and I can go viral, but is the fame worth it if I'm losing myself in the process, forcing my heart and my head in a downward spiral?
I feel like I've been losing myself for far too long. Far too long. I don't really even know what I've been trying to do. It seems like I've been floating away. You love me, then you love me not. These feelings gon' put me in the grave, but I don't really even know what I've been trying to prove. It feels like I've been falling from grace. I won't lose myself just to prove myself to the people that don't want me to change.
But I gotta adapt, the old way don't work no more, so I gotta change up the grind before I get left behind. I'm already midway to 40 and worried I'll never be hitting my prime. You tell me to always stay true to myself, but then when I do it, I'm wasting my time. Just give me a sign. I don't wanna change, don't wanna conform, but I know I gotta do something and soon, cause then if I don't, I'm breaking the norm. And fuck social media, all of that hatred been bringing me down. I go to perform and post up a reel to show how I did, then get all these messages about how I'm corny. Nobody does that, you should just stop. Put out the song, I bet you it flops. Hang up the mic, your flow is too basic, no wonder your Spotify listeners dropped. This is the shit that I get for pursuing my passion, thinking one day I'ma pop, and maybe I might, but all that I know is I'm gonna continue to rise to the top. I ain't losing myself.
I don't really even know what I've been trying to do. It seems like I've been floating away. You love me, then you love me not. These feelings gon' put me in the grave, but I don't really even know what I've been trying to prove. It feels like I've been falling from grace. I won't lose myself just to prove myself to the people that don't want me to change. I don't really even know what I've been trying to do. It seems like I've been floating away. You love me, then you love me not. These feelings gon' put me in the grave, but I don't really even know what I've been trying to prove. It feels like I've been falling from grace.
That's good. Yeah.
So, first impression, what do you think?
I think it's very good.
Very talented. Like hearing them. I mean, the message a little rough for our not our audience, but I mean, so we have Topher on ours and Marine Rapper, and some of these guys refuse to use some of the foul lyric. But then we got Doc Todd, and Doc Todd just lets her rip, and so we want to be careful when we're presenting that. So we do a lot of public events where we put Weepy Through Radio in the background, and that's a piece that we haven't solidified, is making sure these guys are put after, family listening time.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not a complaint, because I appreciate, for me, myself, I appreciate the craft and I appreciate it all. But we also look at a business side of it as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do you think of the message behind the lyrics? Because that's, as a podcaster, I feel everything that he's saying about him and his musical journey. So I was, what do you guys think about the lyrics of it?
Love it.
I think the lyrics pretty much say, if you're passionate, purposeful, and driven, then don't let what anybody else says stop you from achieving your goals.
Definitely. No, I love it. It's
great.
So I put his link in chat if you guys want to follow. Now, he did sign with Big Homies Records in Utah. Super cool cat. If you guys would like to have him on your podcast, I can get you connected with him, or Candace can get you connected with him as well. And then you got, because he does have some clean stuff. So if it's something that you want to put him on your radio station, he can definitely clean. He's got some clean stuff. So,
but that's the thing, is like it's not just theory. Like we got Scotty Frazier. Hell, even JT Cooper.
Yeah, JT Cooper's another one.
There's Malachi. We have so many.
Well, I'm sure that they probably have Malachi. They probably have Scotty Hastings, Scotty Frazier, Barbara Sim. I'm sure you guys got all of those, right?
Yeah.
Most of those played in our WP3 Nashville takeover. We had Scotty Hastings up here for an event here in Minnesota with Shannon Book. It's crazy, the networking and the relationships that have been built. And we just love all of them. Malachias, he wouldn't do a Sunday show forever, and finally chose to do a Sunday show with us because he's committed that day for his family. And so we appreciate that. We appreciate the message that he's doing with that. And we support everything he does. And then we get to hang out with him in Nashville when we're down there.
No,
he's awesome. He's so awesome. But do you have JT Cooper?
JD Cooper's not the one that we have.
So JT Cooper is the founder of Warrior Rounds. He had a real promising music career. He gave up his music career to serve in the military, and now
he was
gives
Black Hawk Down with James.
Yeah, and he was in Black Hawk Down, Operation Gothic Serpent during Somalia, and he's got some phenomenal music out there. So we can get you connected with Mr. JT Cooper as well. So because I know he would love to have his music on the radio.
Yeah.
So, but no, man, I want to say thank you guys for coming on here and hanging out with us for this time. I know J Train, you're a little late to the show, to the party, but is there anything that you want to say and get off your chest while you're on here, while you got a platform?
No, man, I just, I think the message of the song was pretty on point with what I'm feeling right now. If you got a goal and a passion, that just go. And going off of our show last night, I think I still kind of feel a little bit of that as well. And it's find your people, right? And those aren't going to be necessarily the people I connect you with or anybody. It may be a random stranger or whatever, but find your people, the people that allow you to be you and allow you to grow, and stick with them and push those goals, push them, get them done.
Yeah, no,
well, I'm gonna stick with St. Andrea over here. So.
I'm gonna add that right to it. I was just telling Jeremy's always he's like missing his filter. Jeremy's a taco guy.
Jeremy's always missing his filter.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. We honestly, we have lists of people we need to contact yet, and you guys are probably finding out. Musicians will get back to you when they get back to you, pretty much, because they're chasing their stuff, and that's perfect. But anything that we can offer them,
thanks,
there's
Daddy.
sometimes a possessiveness, right? Like I got to take Scotty Hastings to the aquarium at the Mall of America because we had to fill a whole day while we waited for his flight, and he was like a kid at the aquarium. It was so fun, and I love aquariums too. So we were like, I was the old lady with the young, I don't know, whatever, tall young man that loved the sharks. It was heartwarming. It was, I learned a lot about Scotty that day that I didn't know, that just makes him more real and keeps him, on the ground right next to me. And it was so cool. But anything we can do, and it's hard sometimes to let go and not be possessive, but every exposure these guys and gals get that helps them get closer to their dream, it's good for them, and that's what we're here for. So the more we can do and the more music we can put out there and the more guests we can have on our show, the net gets bigger and bigger, and it's great. Thank you so much. It's amazing.
No, you're welcome. And anybody that you guys, like if y'all want to reach out to James Thornton or Marcus, even Candace's dad, I think would be a great story to have out there as well. And we
got to get him on ours.
Yeah, we definitely have to get your daddy on ours for sure. I figured we can do that anytime with your dad. All right, Mark, what about you? You got anything you want to shout out there?
I don't know. I'm always inspired by those that are willing to do, and it is important to remember that sometimes we just need to be the push or the drag to get people off their backsides to find something. Bottom line, all of us need to be involved with a call to action, and it is, what are you doing? If you're not part of the solution, you are part of the problem.
I love that. I love that for sure. Well, guys, I want to thank you guys again for coming on here. It was our honor to have you on. I definitely have Mark's. I got your phone number, don't I, Mark? I think I do. So. Yeah. So I got Mark's number. I'll stay in contact with him. And if I know like some musicians that you might not have on your show, I'll get them connected with you either via email or text message, or whatever's going to be easiest. That way we can help each other out. That's what we do here. That's what we do here at Homefront Sitrep, is we make those connections. We also let veterans come on here and tell their story. And then veteran service organizations like this one here, Warrior to Racers, which is Mr. Ed McLean. All veteran race team, American Endurance Racing. Super cool, man. So everybody from the pit crew all the way up to the driver, crew chief, everything's all veteran. It's adrenaline therapy. So definitely got to check out Warriors to Racers if you haven't had Mr. Ed McLean on the show. And then Tana P, who is on an all-female American endurance racing team out in Houston, Texas. She's the founder of Grace Under Fire. Super cool. Just to see the collaboration between Warriors to Racers and Grace Under Fire, and have an all-female race team too. I think that's super neat out there. So, but anyway, guys, Mark, J Train, Andrea, thank you guys for Grace After Fire. Sorry, I said that wrong. Grace After Fire. But thank you guys for coming on here and hanging out with us.
Thank you for having us.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Excellent friend request to all of you. So
yeah, I need to do the same. I know I'm friends with Mark. I need to do Andrea and
I just threw my number in the private as well. If you guys want to grab that.
Oh, perfect.
Throw mine in there too, Candace, if they don't have it. That way they can text me. But we're going to wrap it up real quick. So let me drop everybody off, but me and Candace. So how cool was that, Miss Candace?
It was really cool. I love it because there was so many similarities that I feel with that, with you know what I do with Mission 6 or what was Up to Snuff. So it kind of pulls your heartstrings. It's one of those where Andrea's talking about those feel good stories and the little things that you can do, and even as simple as the birth certificate, something like that, where you get this phone call, and it's not something that a typical organization would do. Sorry, I was adding your number. But why not? Like, do you just have this list of services? Which there are some that you have specific things that you do, and you know what? That's all right, because we need those. But then I feel like these other ones are necessary too, because what about those oddballs? Because I always talk about my Bible. Like my Bible looks like this thing. And if you need shingles changed, or you need oil change in your car, or your dog needs something,
or you need tires,
right? Because it's that last thing, that one little thing that could seem so small to us, to the civilian, to the person in the outside world, that could be what pushes them over that edge. And what makes us lose that hero. Yeah. And that's not okay. So if there's that one little thing that we can do to give them that hand up, that's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. And that's what I loved hearing from every story that they were talking about. It was all so different.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And there are, like you said, there are those organizations out there. Oh, well, we're not designed to do that. We can't do that. And, and okay. Me being part of a veteran service organization, I would kind of want to be a nonprofit like this, where prime example, we had a veteran reach out to an organization that I was involved with. Well, we can't build you a wheelchair ramp. So what did I do? I said, hey, I'll take care. No, I took care of it. Me and 20 other veterans, we went out there and we built this guy who needed to get out of his house. He was wheelchair bound. He needed to get out of his house. So we went out there on a Sunday morning and built him a wheelchair ramp just so he could get out of his house and go to his chemotherapy. That's what we're supposed to do as humans. And you don't even really have to be veteran. Just as humans, that's what we're supposed to do.
That's what I always say. It takes a village. And when you're able to build that village, that's key.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with you 100% on that. It does take a village to make things work. But no, it's a great show with People's Patriot Project. If you haven't been to their website, you need to go to their website. I'm gonna post it in chat again here in 1 second. Copy it real quick. Definitely go check out their website. Yes. Yeah,
come on, multitask, man.
No, I was reading comments. But yeah, so the website's right there. I'm gonna put it up here. People's Patriot Project.org. And you go in there and you can see everything they got going on, or you can follow them all social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, you name it. They got Rumble as well. So make sure you go there. Make sure you follow Homefront Sitrep too. If you haven't already, make sure you go follow Homefront Sitrep on YouTube.
But yeah, definitely the People's Patriot Project. Go check them out. Follow them. Check out what they're doing, and if you got an extra $5, donate it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna also do this one here that Mark just sent me. Go ahead and talk real quick, Candace.
I was talking. You're just not fast enough.
Probably not.
We got to marine it down for you today.
Yeah, definitely. So speaking of marine it down, so Homefront Sitrep has a shirt. It's a co-branded shirt with sameflag.sameoath.com. Candace is showing the shirt right now.
Of course,
if you go to sameflagsameoath.com, go to co-branded shirts, scroll down till you find Marine It Down. At the end of the year, Homefront Sitrep is going to get 25% of all sales. And what Homefront Sitrep is going to do is we're going to take that money and we're going to put all the veteran service organizations from the state of Kentucky. We're going to put them on a random. And me, I'm going to be on a wheel in a tutu, pink tutu. And we're going to donate all money to that veteran service organization. It could be anybody in the state of Kentucky. So that's what we're going to do with that. And I just put it here, WP3 Radio too as well. So there's a link for that as well. So you can go listen to all these veteran artists out there. You can check out WP3 Radio right here on live365.com. Definitely check them out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that.
It's about that time. Take us out of here.
It is about time. All right. Great show tonight, brother.
Great show. Thank you.
As we always say, stay safe out there. We got your 6.
We got your 6. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find Homefront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your 6.